Hey there, it's Tessa with Hip Over 50, so American accent, but British born. I grew up in Canada and the US, and I've come back here and finding what life is like here so that you can find out if it's the right place for you to settle. When we're considering moving abroad or traveling abroad even for extended periods of time, we'd like to kind of get an idea of what to expect. I mean, how much will it cost to set up a home here, for example? I've often been asked this, so let's find out what it costs to live in England. By the way, legally, in order to have the right to rent here in the UK, you should have citizenship, the right to remain, or settled status. However, the rules are different if you want to buy a home. There are no legal restrictions on anybody buying a home. However, just to be clear, you're still only able to stay for up to 6 months at a time without a visa. So how much will it cost to rent a home? Well, according to the website Statista, average rents in the UK run about £700 to £2,100 per month, and rents are substantially higher in England than they are in Wales, Scotland, or Northern Ireland. London is a big factor. Average private rents for England, according to the ONS, is about £1,300 per month. That's about $1,700 for you Americans. According to Zoopla, it's a little lower. Zoopla is a property portal, and according to them, average rents are about £1,223 per month. So if we do take London out of the equation, then rents are a little more reasonable. Average UK rents without London factored in are about £1,126 per month. So what are the rents in London? Well, they're averaging about a little over £2,100 per month. That's about close to $2,800 per month. By the way, yes, these are considered record high rents. Thanks to Mr. COVID, our real estate market has gone bonkers as well, although I think it's a little more reasonable than the US market. I'll get to more of that later. But what can you get for that budget anyway? Let's find out what an average rental looks like. Let's find out what you can get for your rental budget. For £700 a month, you could get this 1-bedroom, 1-bath flat in Rugby, Warwickshire. It's all new, it's close to the train station, and this town is in between Northampton and Birmingham, so well situated. For £1,300 a month, you could get this 2-bedroom, 1-bath flat close to the city center of Bath. It's got period features and a communal garden. What could you get for a £2,000 budget? Well, in Notting Hill, London, you could get this 1-bedroom, 1-bath flat, all newly renovated, where you can walk to Paddington Station and the Portobello Road Market. So what could you get for a £225,000 budget if you wanted to buy a house? This is considered the first-time buyer range. Well, I've got a 2-bedroom or 2 or 3-bedroom updated stone cottage in a semi-rural village just southeast of Leeds. It's got a garden and lovely walks on the doorstep. And then there's this 1-bedroom, 1-bath period cottage with a refurbished kitchen and bath that's tucked away in a little town near Bath and Bradford-on-Avon. This is a great buy. Or you could get this 4-bedroom, 4-bath, large detached newer home with a garden and garage just down the coast from Alnwick and Almouth. But what could you get for a £300,000 budget, the national average? Well, there's this 2 to 3 bedroom, 1-bath, pretty characterful cottage in a desirable village close to the town of Devizes that has a large mature garden. Or this 3-bedroom, 1-bath with loft, terraced house in town location in Exeter that's walking distance to train stations. And third, this 2-bedroom, 1-bath, grade 2 listed 3-story cottage that's just steps away from Kenilworth Castle and station. What if you pushed your budget up to £450,000? That's close to $585,000. This 4-bedroom detached house with garden is just outside York City Centre. Number 2 is this 2-bedroom terraced home in the buzzy Bristol neighborhood of Bedminster that has a lovely landscape garden. Number 3 is this 4-bedroom, 3-bath detached new build that has 2 ensuite bathrooms in a cul-de-sac location just off the A303. But what is the average cost of a home here in England? Well, as of mid-2024, it's around £300,000. That's $390,000 for you U.S. folks. By comparison, in the U.S., the average is now $500,000. That's incredible. So If the average house is about £300,000, then you put a 25% deposit, that's £75,000 down. Your mortgage payment will be about £1,250 or $1,625. And that's on like a average rate that's going now and about a 20-year mortgage. So on top of that mortgage, of course, you'll have some other expenses, and those are going to be your utilities, just as we had in the US. So number one, you'll have council tax. That's a little unique to the UK. It's like property tax, only everybody pays it whether you rent or buy. Then you have your gas bill, you have your electric bill, you have broadband or internet, you have a water bill, and TV license is number 6 on the list. That is something very unique to the UK. And of course you have insurance. So let's break it down. Your average council tax bill will be about $1,000 to $2,000 per year, depending on where you live. It's paid in 10 or 12 payments. Your average gas bill for 1 to 3 people, I found, is £46 to £64 per month. Your average electric bill for 1 to 3 people is $55 to $73 per month. And if you're like me and you don't have gas, you just add those two together for the total. Average broadband is £27 per month. Average water bill is $473 per year. And your TV license is £169 per year. And that you have to pay if you watch any live TV at all. Average contents and building insurance, if you own your home, is about £364. If you're just renting, then you just have to have contents insurance, and that will probably be about half of that anyway. And find out what the monthly cost will be. Another big expense might be the cost of having a car here. Of course, you can get around with public transportation, but let's say you decide you're going to be here for long term, you really want to have a car. By the way, if you come over and you've got a US driving license, you can use that for up to 12 months before you need to apply for a UK driving license. And I've done another video on this, but I found it somewhat traumatic. You can buy a car without a driving license, which is what I did. But here's what you will pay for a car here if you decide you want to buy a new car. So let's say a 2025 Honda CR-V. That'll cost you $31,000 to $36,000. A 2020 CR-V will run you about $21,000 to $25,000. And if you can go with a 2015, you can get it for around a little over £10,000. So here's the mandatory cost to put a car on the road. There's something called MOT, which is like an annual inspection. They can only charge you a max around £55. I get charged around 35, I think, or 38. Then there's road tax. Every car has to pay that. If your car costs less than £40,000, it's a standard rate of £190 per year after the first year. That translates into about £17 per month. And then insurance, obviously that varies widely. It depends on the type of car you drive, but budget about £500 to £800 per year, depending on your car, how new it is, etc., etc. So you can expect to pay about £80 to £100 per month to have a car on the road, and that's not including fuel. By the way, we don't have tolls over here, which is kind of nice. So gas or petrol is about £1.40 per liter right now. That just means it takes you on average about 50 to 80 pounds to fill up, or $65 to $104. It takes me about 50 pounds to fill up my little car. But you don't really need a car, especially if you're living in London. You can get by using public transportation. Train travel has gotten a lot more expensive since the pandemic, but unless you're commuting, transportation is kind of like it's discretionary. You don't have to do it. Of course, the other expense living anywhere is food. Now, it all depends on what your tastes are really, but they're not extravagant. So whatever you're spending in the US, you're going to probably spend about the same here, maybe a little bit less. I hope that gave you some idea of what it would cost to live here in England. But if you have any questions, of course, please put them below and I will try to answer them. And if you're thinking of coming over here for, let's say, up to 6 months, or you want to get a taste of what life is like here, what to expect, check out my 6-month guide to living in the UK. I'll put the link in the description box below. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you very soon on my next video. Bye for now.